So in this session, we'll have a look at how the virtual address, which is generated using the help of selectors, descriptors, etc., is converted into the physical address, which will finally appear on the address bus of the processor. So if it's 80286, it's going to come on address lines A0 to A23. If it's 386 or above, it is going to be A0 to A31. So this is the descriptor for 80286. As we saw earlier, the descriptor will have the starting address of the segment, it will have the size of the segment, and it will also have the access permissions which are related to the segment. But right now we are more interested in getting the addresses, so we will concentrate on the starting address and we will concentrate on the size of the segment. The descriptor for 80386 is also similar. The bits which are going to be called as limit are going to give the size of the segment, and the base address gives the starting address of the segment. Access rights again gives the access permissions which are related to that particular segment. In the previous session, we also saw in detail what is going to be the format of the access right bytes. Now, what we are going to look at in this particular session is how an address is going to be translated, or how the virtual address is going to be converted into a physical address. Now again, here address will always have a segment and an offset part. The difference between real mode and the protected mode is the way in which you translate the segment. The segment in protected mode is actually a selector. A selector is going to point towards an entry in the descriptor table. So whatever is the entry is going to be the descriptor, and this descriptor is going to give the address of that segment. So here, if you're going to take the 16 bits which are present in the segment register, this is called as the selector bits, or at least bits number 3 to 15 act as the selector bits. The last 3 bits are going to be used for some other purpose. This bit, which is called as the TI, indicates which table you are going to use. There are 2 descriptor tables in memory. There is a local descriptor table and there is a global descriptor table. If the TI bit happens to be 0, then it means that entry for the segment is available in the global descriptor table. If this happens to be 1, then it means the entry for this particular segment is going to be available in the local descriptor table. So which table has to be used? Because you have to pick a descriptor from either the LDT or the GDT. So this bit is going to indicate whether the table is going to be picked up from the LDT or it is going to be picked up from the GDT. So 0 GDT, 1 it is going to be LDT. Now these 2 bits are called as the request privilege level. This is used whenever you are looking at memory protection features. If the RPL here happens to be 01, then it means that if with the request privilege level of 01, this can access only a segment whose privilege level happens to be lesser than 01. So this RPL will be compared against the 2 DPL bits that are going to be present. If the RPL happens to be of a higher priority level when compared to the DPL, I'm not talking about the value, but I'm talking about a higher priority level. If the RPL happens to be greater or equal to the descriptor privilege level, then access to the segment is going to be allowed. Otherwise, the access to that particular segment will not be allowed. So if you say that the RPL is going to be 01 and DPL happens to be 10, the privilege level here is greater than the DPL privilege level. So the RPL is greater than DPL. So since it is greater than DPL, access will be allowed. But if the RPL was 11 and the DPL was 10, in this case the request privilege level is lesser than the DPL. So if RPL is going to be lesser than the DPL, in that case the access to the segment is not going to be allowed. So RPL is always compared against the DPL value that is present. So this is as far as the RPL bits are going to be concerned. Now let's look at the other 13 bits and the TI bit, which is actually going to give you the address of the segment or the physical address. Now other than the registers which we saw as part of the programmer's model, there are also going to be certain registers which are going to be invisible to the programmer. They are present, but the programmer cannot use these registers like he's making use of the code segment, data segment, extra segment, or the stack segment registers. These are what are called as program invisible registers. So among the program invisible registers or registers which are used purely in the protected mode of operation are going to be the LDTR, which is the local descriptor table register. There is a task register, there is a global descriptor table register, and there is a interrupt descriptor table register. IDTR or TR we will come to later when we are talking about task switching and we talk about memory protection. Right now, or at least in this session, we will concentrate only on the GDTR. We will come again to what is called as the descriptor cache later. We'll talk about that in the next session. These are called as the descriptor caches. Base address, limit, and access are the values that are present in the descriptor caches. These are used with the local descriptor table. We'll come to that in the next session. Right now, we will look only at the global descriptor table register. The GDTR is a 32-bit register if it's 80386 or 486. It's a 24-bit register if it is going to be 80286. The global descriptor table register very simply has the starting address of the global descriptor table. The global descriptor table is also present in memory. Which address of the memory it is going to be present in is given by the GDTR. So the GDTR gives the starting address of the global descriptor table, right? That's the function. We are going to look at the global descriptor table only in this session. So let's take an example and see how it is going to work out. Now I might have an instruction, for instance, which is going to say move AX, 100 in hexadecimal. This is what my instruction is going to be. So if the instruction is move AX, 100H in hexadecimal, then in that case it means the address is a combination of the data segment and 100. 100 is going to be the offset. It has the same meaning whether it is real mode of operation or whether it is going to be protected mode of operation. Now what matters is how you translate the data segment register. The data segment register, for convenience, let's say has a value 0018. This again is going to be in hexadecimal. Now if you look at this in binary, the first 13 bits would be 000, 000 and 0001. This is going to be the first 13 bits. The rest of the 3 bits are going to be, again, you have to look at it like a selector. The first 13 bits give the selector's value. The next bit basically says whether the table is a GDT or LDT. Now this bit is going to be 0. So this means that it is going to be the global descriptor table where the descriptor is going to be present. The rest of the 2 bits give the request privilege level. Here you have the highest possible privilege, which is going to be 00. So it means it can access whatever is going to be the segment present. Now we are interested in the first 13 bits, which are called as the selector. From the last 3 bits we got that it is a global descriptor, and we also got the information that we are trying to have a privilege access of level 00. So now what we have to do is we have to figure out what entry number in the global descriptor table, because the global descriptor table has 8192 entries in it. So which of these 8192 entries is it going to be is what we will try to figure out from this 13-bit value. So if you look at this 13-bit value, you will see that it is going to be equivalent to 4 zeros, again 4 zeros, 001 followed by a 1. So this is equivalent to entry number 3. So we will take the contents of the global descriptor table and add a value 0018. So if it was entry number 0, then in that case it would have been the address which is going to be 000. If it was entry number 1, this value would be 0008. If it was entry number 2, this value is 0010. And if it is entry number 3, it is going to be 0018. That is because every descriptor is 8 bytes. So the 0th descriptor will be present from location 0 to location 7. The first descriptor will be present from 8 to location F. The next descriptor will be present from 10 to 17. The third descriptor would be present from 18 to 1F, because you need totally 8 bytes. So this gives you the address in which it is going to be present as well. Let's, for our own convenience, assume that the global descriptor table is going to be present in location which happens to be all zeros. This is going to be a 32-bit address. Now to access the entry, what will be done is a value 0018 will be added to it. So now we are looking at memory location which is 0018. So let's say this is going to be the entry or the third entry. Now we know that the first 2 bytes give the limit. Whether it is 80286 or whether it's going to be 80386, the first 2 bytes are going to give the limit or the size. And the next 3 bytes which are going to be present are going to have the base address. And also the last byte is going to have the rest of the 8 bits if it is going to be 80386. So if this is 80386, the MSB of the base address is 00. The rest of the address is 20000. So it means that whatever is a segment which we are looking at is going to be starting from address 00200000. So this is going to be the starting address or the base address of the segment. Now you can get the size of the segment from these 2 bytes plus the lower nibble here. So the size of this segment, if you look at it based on the data, is going to be 0 FF. So this is going to be the size of the segment. So this means it is going to be a 64K segment. So this is the size of the segment. Always the limit byte will give the size -1. So size -1 here will translate to a 64K segment. So this is going to be a 64K segment. And 93 is going to be the access byte. So if you are going to expand 93 in binary, the value which you will get is 10010011. So the first bit indicates that the entry for the descriptor and the segment is valid. This is the P bit. The rest 2 bits give the privilege level, the DPL. The DPL is going to be 00. Our RPL also happens to be 00. So since RPL is greater than or equal to DPL, the segment can be accessed. The next bit says whether this happens to be a system descriptor or not. This is not a system descriptor, but because this particular bit is going to be 0. The next bit indicates it's going to be a data segment. It's a data segment with normal organization, as well as it can be returned into as well. That is going to be the indication of the bit, which is going to be 93. So this is going to be the format of the access byte. So the access byte essentially gives the permission. But we do know one thing, that whatever is the data segment you're trying to access is going to be at location 0020000. So what is the linear address then? The linear address is going to be this segment value plus the offset, which is 1000. So the linear address or the physical address in this particular case is going to be 0020100 is going to be the actual physical address here. So this gives the physical address, which is 0020100 is going to be the physical address. So the segment part is obtained by using the selectors. So the selector is going to be pointing towards a descriptor in the descriptor table, and from there we are going to get the starting address of the segment, to which we will be adding our offset in order to get the physical address. So this is going to be our physical address. Now why I am calling it as the linear address rather than calling it as a physical address, we'll see that when we come to the future sessions where we are going to talk about paging. But this is how address translation is going to take place, provided the descriptor is in the global descriptor table. In the next session, we will see how address translation takes place if the descriptor is going to be present in the LDT rather than in the GDT. So we'll stop with this in this session.